Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7 FM.com. Here is the Z107.7 Local news for Wednesday, July 15th, 2026. A vehicle pursuit through 29 Palms ended with the suspect allegedly fleeing on foot and then being taken to a hospital. On Tuesday at around 3:30 a.m., San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies attempted to conduct a traffic stop on a minivan with an obstructed license plate near the intersection of Baseline Road and Utah Trail in 29 Palms. Deputies say the driver, identified as Nathan Brown, 41, fled from deputies. They say he drove south recklessly, driving through opposing lanes of traffic and ignoring stop signs. Deputies say that Brown abandoned the minivan and fled on foot near the north end of Joshua Tree National Park, near the intersection of Sherman Hoyt and Wellock Road. They were eventually able to take him into custody. Brown told deputies that he had been injured during the pursuit and he was taken to a hospital for treatment. County records indicate the van had been identified as stolen. Brown was found to be in violation of post-release community supervision. Nathan Brown was arrested on suspicion of reckless evasion, possession of stolen property, and violating parole. He is being held at the West Valley Detention Center without bail. Reports of dogs being poisoned in Yucca Valley are being investigated by the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. Social media users have said that chicken bones laced with antifreeze have been found in and around Yucca Valley's Community Center Park and the neighborhood surrounding the park. Some posts have said that dogs have become sick from antifreeze and even died. On Tuesday morning, one resident placed a warning sign at the community center telling dog owners to be aware. While officials have not confirmed any evidence of chicken bones contaminated with antifreeze, the sheriff's Morongo Basin station said that they have received official reports about the suspected poisonings. They said they are currently investigating these multiple reports and that the reports are being investigated as connected. No suspects have yet been taken into custody. Yucca Valley Town Manager Curtis Yakimo said that town staff, quote, remain in active observation of the community center complex. The sheriff's department suggested that pets be supervised when they are outside, even in a fenced yard. The town of Yucca Valley advised pet owners to keep their dogs on a short leash in parks and common areas where suspicious food may have been left. They say you should not allow scavenging from the ground, including chicken bones, meat scraps, treats, or puddles. If you suspect your dog ate something poisonous, move your dog away from the source. If it's safe, collect the suspected material or take a photo, then contact your veterinarian or an emergency veterinary hospital immediately. You can call the ASPCA Animal Poison Control Line at 888-426-4435 for guidance. Last night, the Yucca Valley Planning Commission approved limits on extensions for site plan and design review and conditional use permits. They also voted down a proposal for a new water and ice dispensing business. Reporter Gabriel Hart takes a closer look.
Because there were previously unlimited extensions for site plan and design review and conditional use permits, the Commission made an amendment that would limit each development to 2 extensions, each for a 2-year period. In addition to the initial 3-year approval period, this will put a 7-year period on each proposal. Vice Chair James Henderson commented that this offers predictability in the wake of some recent projects that unnecessarily stretched for over a decade. The Commission considered a proposal for a Watermill Express self-serve water and ice dispensing station on the south side of Sioux City at 29 Palms Highway and Old Woman Springs Road. Despite the company's claims it would be categorized as a vending kiosk or ATM, the Commission decided it does not meet the dimension and location criteria and does not meet the intention of the section as it is a standalone building. Vice Chair Henderson stated that approval of this project would, quote, undermine the intent of our original code, unquote, while Commissioner Stoker added the location would be horrible, it just wouldn't look good, unquote. Stoker emphasized the importance of the Planning Commission's role of using discretion.
And that's, I think, the most important role for us as planning commissioners to use discretion is to make sure that new development is done thoughtfully, is done in a way that we can look back at a project and say, we feel good about approving that. And we feel like that was a net positive to the community, and it's not something that's going to be the butt of a joke later. And that is kind of one of the spurning things that got, I think, a lot of us onto our planning commission to begin with is coincidentally next door is Shoe City's tower that didn't have the benefit of discretion to look at that original plan and say, this really wouldn't necessarily be the best addition to Shoe City. And here we are looking at it.
After an appeal from a Watermill Express representative present at the meeting who asked for the same consideration they received in Palm Springs and Cathedral City, the commission voted against the proposal 4-0. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Gabriel Hart.
The ballot measure on a possible sales tax increase is headed to 29 Palms residents' ballot this November. Joining us with a recap on last night's 29 Palms City Council meeting is online news editor Robert Hayden.
First up, the Victims of Crimes Act, or VOCA, is a federal bipartisan source of revenue created in 1984 to help survivors of crimes with costs such as medical bills and lost wages. This year's California state budget didn't include any of that funding, leaving nonprofits and advocacy organizations to come together to help secure some funding from the state. Councilmember April Ramirez led off last night's meeting with recognition of some of those advocates here in the high desert.
Through relentless advocacy, bipartisan collaboration, and unwavering commitment to survivors, what began as a proposal for a 43% cut turned into a $25 million one-time investment, and ultimately, we finalized at a $50 million investment in the California state budget signed by the governor's office, preserving critical services for victims and their families across our state.
Ramirez thanked Gina Pliss and Sarah Shook from the nonprofit Partners Against Violence, Senators Rosalicia Ochoa-Bo and Suzette Valadares, Youth Leader Addison Bradshaw, County 3rd District Representative Don Rao, and Morongo Basin Unity Home. On to councilmember comments, where Councilmember MacArthur Wright, Mayor Pro Tem Octavia Scott, and Mayor Daniel Mintz all announced their intentions to run for re-election to the City Council. The two resolutions regarding the proposed 1% sales tax increase in 29 Palms was also up for discussion. One resolution puts the matter onto November's ballot, with the second resolution directing City Manager Kevin Cole to provide an impartial analysis of the measure, along with Mayor Daniel Mintz to write an argument in favor of the measure. Resident Kimberly Zizek spoke in support of the proposed increase and says she's seen firsthand how much the city does with a limited staff and limited budget.
Our city employees have always made time for the ways in which I contribute to our community, and I believe that this ballot measure is both reasonable and overdue and is just ready for voters to decide. Thank you.
Resident Mary Alice Ansler was still seeking clarification on the language of the measure, something she brought up 2 weeks ago at the last City Council meeting. City Manager Kevin Cole read the expanded language of the measure, which is estimated to bring in an additional $2 million annually to the city's general fund. Mayor Mintz also reiterated that the money gained from the possible increase would be spent transparently.
This is not just a blank check for the City Council or staff just to start spending money. So I just want you to be clear that you, the public, will definitely have input on how this money is spent.
Both resolutions were unanimously passed, meaning that 29 Palms residents will see the proposed increase on their ballots on November 3rd. In future agenda items, Mayor Pro Tem Octavia Scott says he'd like to see a discussion on a moratorium on data centers in the city of 29 Palms, a statement that received some surprise reactions from those in the audience. And Councilmember April Ramirez stated she'd like to discuss the city pursuing a designation as an opportunity zone, along with a reallocation of funds that were set aside for a shade structure outside City Hall that she says has been sitting in limbo. You can find a longer version of this story on our website, Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
The Morongo Valley Community Services District Board of Directors meets in regular session tonight. They will hold a public hearing on their fiscal year budget. Here's Gabriel Hart with a look at their agenda.
The board will hold an open public hearing to receive comment regarding the proposed budget for fiscal year 2026-27, followed by an adoption of the budget. The board will receive and consider acceptance of a Carl Moyer Grant Award from the Mojave Desert Air Quality Management District in the amount of $10,461. There will be discussions on a CAL FIRE dispatch agreement, updating the district policy handbook, and further talks on an establishment of a retirement plan for district employees. The meeting begins at 6 p.m. in Covington Park's Mesquite Room, open to the public. For the full agenda, please visit the link in the story at z1077fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Gabriel Hart.
And finally, registration is now open for the 2026-29 Palms Youth Soccer League. Families are invited to sign up children ages 4 to 14 for a fun and rewarding season focused on teamwork, skill development, sportsmanship, and community. This program is put on by the City of 29 Palms Parks and Recreation Department. Registration is open through August 16th with a fee of $58 per player. There are family discounts. The Youth Soccer League offers co-ed divisions designed for players of all skill levels, from first-time participants to experienced athletes. No prior soccer experience is required. The season is set to begin in early September and continue through November, with practices held at Lucky Park. To register or get more information, contact the 29 Palms Parks and Recreation Department at 760-367-7562, extension 1024, or use a link in this story at Z107.7fm.com. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z107.7 Local News, I'm News Director Jeff Harmatz.